Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Law of One Spiritual Advice Podcast. I come to you today to read some more Law of One material. Instead of raw today, I was going to read you some quotes from Quo. They're always a little bit more human speak, a little bit less translation that needs to be done, kind of straight to the point. And the topics today is sort of about being human. Seeking the truth is we try to seek to be perfect in a way, or we try to seek a certain level of perfection. However, we are still human, and so how do we deal with that, or what are the dynamics, with that sort of scenario? Okay, so first of all, Merry Christmas, everyone. And I will begin with this quote from Quo. So this is dated 2008, October 25th. And the quote begins, "The most humble and self-abandoned disciple shall still find itself desiring those things which shall bring comfort to the body, the mind, or the spirit. The initiate does not stop being human. The initiate becomes transparent to its humanhood, and is able to gaze upon the requests which the body or the mind may make to the self with a certain amount of detachment and a larger point of view, which enables the disciple to act in a more skillful way than one who has not become initiated. It does not remove the business of living from that disciple. That disciple still must find ways to imbue all of those necessary parts of being human with awareness, attention, and often ritual, which all are designed to keep the disciple in a good state of tuning. You yourself, my brother, have had some experience with this constant tuning as you use the name of the Creator in your tuning, or use any number of those things that you have learned that are helpful to you for keeping you on the beam, keeping you true to the path that you wish to take. However, you would undoubtedly be the first to own up to the fact that many are the occasions within a day that is basically on an on-the-beam day, where there is a distraction or a trigger is pulled somewhere in your psyche, so that you find yourself replaying old material from your past. Many things can sneak in to distract and divert your attention from that seeking to be one with the infinite Creator. This does not mean that you have gone back to sleep. This does not mean that you are backsliding. This means that you are a human being, and that you are engaged in living a life that is full of love and service, and as you can make it." End of quote. That is 2008, October 25th, from Quo. All right, so that is a nice quote, kind of reassuring that as you are on the path of seeking the truth, or the heart of self, as they would say it, and the spiritual realm of things, that there's a lot of idealized talk about perfection and being the ultimate perfect being. That seems to be the end path, right? But you are not, you're already perfect in a way. Like, this is an illusion. We have the illusion of separation. We're already perfected in a certain essence. We just sort of have to step out of the way of the perfection and allow it to be. Now, somebody asked me a question about yesterday's quote, which was about transparency. The goal is to become transparent to the Creator within. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's back up to a different quote where they say there's sort of three ways, or I can't remember exactly, but 3 keys or whatever to seek. So the first one is to know the self, accept the self, become the Creator. So 1, know; 2, accept; 3, become the Creator. So with that, becoming the Creator is what we're talking about when we're talking about transparency and allowing the personality of your little self to sort of step out of the way to the being within, which is the Creator. Like, everyone at our essence is the Creator. Now, what is the Creator? The Creator is infinite, so it can't really be any words to describe it. But within the infinity of the Creator, there is definitely unconditional love, wisdom, truth, inspiration, creativity. All these sorts of things are of the Creator. So as you seek to know yourself and accept yourself and become the Creator, that third step is where you're trying to become transparent. So your personality itself in this third density experience that we're currently in, you have been born here in an incarnation with a personality. That was not a mistake. That is not to be overcome. You are human, and you're here to be a human. So it's not that you came here to be Jesus Christ. You came here to be whoever the heck you are. And who you are is just the most authentic piece of you that you can find within you. Now, what you'll find is that as you seek to accept, know yourself, and become the creator, a lot of it is about the transparency. It's about letting the personality sort of fall away. So somebody was like, oh, well, is my personality just going to be gone? It's not that you're trying to get rid of a personality. Absolutely not. It's more just about seeing the larger reality of things. So your personality, it's essentially sort of like an ego. It likes to get offended, right? It likes to look at the outside world and take offense to things, whether it be, for whatever reasons. They could be valid reasons, right? It's not like somebody could threaten your life. Well, that is a valid reason to be offended. So your ego is mostly, though, about, and your personality, it's about letting it get out of the way. You need to let the little self step out of the way so the big self can come through. Now, that is, in my opinion, the creator. That's becoming the creator. So you become the creator by essentially channeling your most authentic self, but at the same time trying to let that little self get out of the way so that the more important part of reality can be identified. So yesterday somebody asked me about the personality when I posted about knowing the self, accepting the self, and becoming the creator, and the transparency part of it. They were asking, well, does my personality just disappear? Am I basically going to want to get rid of it? Is that the end goal? And so then I answered with this. So I'm just going to read my part that I sort of answered to them. So I said, when they speak of the personality being transparent after discipline, it does happen in the physical 3D life. But we should consider we are in 3rd density right now. Ra is in 6th. They say when they enter the 7th density, if their humble efforts are sufficient, they will have dissolved their personalities completely and become one with all. I suppose it's that you become every personality instead of losing your personality completely. But up until then, you becoming everything and one with all of creation, it's much of a dropping away of things of your personality. So from what I know from this material and other material from the same channelers, I'm talking about Quo in this instance, they explain that your personality in this life is to be treasured, not necessarily overcome. It can be disciplined over time, but it takes time and will and effort. I find that it's sort of like as you mature, things fall away that once used to be important to you. You're a child, you used to love this or that, and as you grow up, you just sort of realize that, you knew that and you accepted it and it no longer serves you, or it's just not something that concerns you, so it falls away. See, now lastly, this is sort of the important part that I wanted to highlight. So what I said after was, then there's also the transparency part of being transparent to the love and light within. Sometimes our personality steps in the way because it feels betrayed or angry. But if we can discipline and know it is right to love beyond most conditions, then we are becoming the creator and channeling the creator transparently, which would be love, light, compassion, wisdom, inspiration in its infinite forms. So the personality does just get in the way sometimes. It's not wrong, it's just a little stubborn. Carla, the channeler of this material, most of this material, said that you shouldn't put the cart before the horse. So don't let the mind or the personality be the one in control. Let the heart be in control and working in unity with the mind, just not the other way around. The mind controlling the heart is where you get into the tricky business where the mind thinks it knows what to do and it will sort of override things of the heart and undermine things of the heart. So you just want to make sure that the compassion and the love and the unity in your heart is sort of your front, center, and focus. And then you don't discredit the mind. You use the mind and the personality. You use the human aspects of yourself to deliver a message in whatever way you can, right? So for example, you would be like somebody getting angry at you. You could let your personality react and be angry and defend itself, or you could see that anger as coming from probably a hurt portion of that person's being, have compassion for that, and respond in love. just a very simple example. That would be, in my opinion, being transparent. You recognize that there is a trigger within you that is saying, hey, this kind of triggers me. This person's being rude to me. That's not very nice. I should defend myself. But is defending yourself really the right thing to do? It may be. It might not be. It's just a really default setting for you to jump onto the personality and defend it. It takes a lot of strength and will and effort to lay the small self aside so that you can sort of be mature, try to channel that loving part of yourself within, which sort of has that unconditional love and infinite compassion for other people and their path and their their time. They have all the time in the world to make the choices that they need to make. So you would consider yourself initiated, I suppose, if you're just sort of aware of this. If you're aware of the unity of everything and that this is sort of a metaphysical world and that things that happen outside of you are more catalyst for what's inside of you. A friend reminded me of this the other day. They call it alchemy. If you're looking at alchemy with physical eyes, you may think that alchemy is about changing metal into gold, but I tell you what, alchemy has really nothing to do with that so much as it is a metaphysical teaching. And the metaphysical teaching is that you get ore or crap or whatever and you change it to gold. And this is exactly what's being talked about. It's like you're being offered the dirt, the soil, you're being offered catalyst, and now are you just going to sling mud back, or are you going to refine that mud and bring it up to a higher energy center and respond from a place of unity, a place of compassion, a place of love? Okay, and then just wrapping up, reminding you about trying to be perfect. So, even me, I run like this Law of One page, and I don't know what people think about me. I would imagine if I looked at some spiritual looking page that always posted spiritual quotes that like high level, pretty intense quotes, right? You would assume that whoever is behind that account would be like meditating, 18 hours a day or something ridiculous like this, and just being perfect and not causing a stink around them, et cetera, et cetera. However, I am human, and me being the human that I am, I cause a lot of issues. They're not issues, I consider I'm trying to create harmony, but I'm not one to just sit around and try to be some fake spiritual thing. Like, I understand that who I am is the gift to the Creator. So I don't know who I am exactly. As I seek to understand myself and accept myself and become the Creator, I get little glimpses of it, and I just try to be that authentic self. I don't want to, everyone. I feel like some people put this big ego thing on where they're like have to present themselves as this perfect person, and so other people can look at them and go, yes, I seek to be that. Well, I don't know. I don't really find that message really works with people very well. We're human. I have human desires. I do things that aren't considered perfect. Like, I don't meditate daily all the time. I screw that up. I have vices to a certain degree. It's just that in my head, I guess they sort of, I know their place. I may be coping in some areas and I may not, but I'm trying my best. And even when I am coping and being a human and doing things, eating candy or whatever it is, I'm still aware that that's okay. It's better to be human and indulge a bit instead of just suppressing things and pretending that you've overcome them. Roz mentions somewhere else that we're here to experience our desires. We don't overcome our desires. We transform them over time through knowing and acceptance and dropping away. The more you try to overcome and control the situation, the more that, you're not doing the service to others path. The service to self path is the one that controls everything and dominates everything into submission, whereas the service to others path is one of acceptance, one that accepts the self, and then as through the long, what would you call it? The long path of seeking you slowly begin to know yourself. And Ra mentions that as too. They say we must, I can't remember exactly what it is, but they say like, hey, this is important. Or yeah, we stress that one may begin to know themselves. It's very difficult within an incarnation to ascend to this perfect being. So just be kind to yourself. It's all right. You're human. What really matters is your intention. Are you still trying to be a better human every day? Share compassion, share love. You can do your human aspects as well. Just do your best. Everyone has their time. And through that slow seeking and acceptance, I promise you that you will get wherever it is that you need to be, as long as you just keep pushing. So thank you, everybody. Much love. Merry Christmas. If this material made sense to you, you can visit at my website, theoneinfinitecreator.com. There's links to all of this information for free. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing this. So thanks for listening, and I love you guys. Have a great little weekend and holiday if you get one. And I will talk to you again next week. See ya.